Hello, trading is closed on August 28th, 2017. Let's go over our calls. I had a change in trend for August 25th. That's a hit. I'm still testing the system. Doesn't always work, but the next dates I have coming up are September 4th, 11th, 14th, and the 15th. I said that the most likely thing was we would have a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range. They didn't have to be in the same direction. We had the gap. We moved outside the range. I don't know if that's really prompt when there's a consolidation like this. So the next most likely thing would be to close a little changed, which we did. We also said that before Tuesday's close, prices should be a little lower. As far as futures are concerned, that's certainly true. We said the wall into the close usually, or I should say often, is followed by gapping up. I didn't think the gap would overtake this high and doubted it would overtake this one. This is a day where the daily pattern was an early low, and I expect tomorrow's pattern to be the one with the early high and the late low. Usually has a negative bent, but doesn't really have to. During the day, MEJT said that drop was false, prices would retrace, that rally's false, prices will retrace, that drop is false, prices would retrace. We got an ultimate sell signal. We got the minimum, properly identified false moves. Usually we get more than this. We don't have to, but usually we would undercut this low. Well, let's pretend we don't know if futures are down sharply and see what prediction we come up with. We've now gapped up 3 days straight. You have nothing to show for it as the close was under the lows of all these bars. It's a very negative pattern, typically leads to lower prices. The other side of the coin is that after dropping all day long, we couldn't take out this low. In fact, we couldn't take out any of the lows. It's positive unless we gap down and promptly take out this low. So based on that, the most likely outcome for tomorrow is we have a gap opening and promptly trade outside the range. Next most likely as we close, it'll change. Well, I know futures are down sharply. Apparently it was in response to a news event that the North Koreans have fired a missile over Japan. Usually moves in response to news events get reversed quickly and completely. So I'm not 100% positive that these lows are going to hold overnight. We'll have to see how we open tomorrow. But whether or not they recover, this looks pretty negative to me. Here was the diamond on stilts we talked about. We now have a new stilt. And if we get a stilt-like move down, we don't know which of these things to pick. But we should be able to have some sort of Fibonacci retracement of the diamond, and the origin of the left stilt comes around the 24-25 level. It's one possibility, but again, you don't know which ones of these to pick. We're still looking for 23.81 before this is over. If this wave count is correct, and I believe it is, we should be starting a third wave down the multiple degree pretty soon. So tomorrow's pattern typically has an early high and a late low, tends to have a negative outcome. Most likely as we gap outside the range, and since prices are already down, Wouldn't surprise me if we gapped under this low. If that doesn't happen, and as I say, if we recover before the open or soon after the open, it's possible. Next, most likely, as we close, it'll change. But it looks like lower prices are on the way, and that's today's call.